As we're waiting on Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and Micah Parsons to get their brand new contracts with the Cowboys so we can all, as Cowboys fans, move on with our lives and put our attention elsewhere, I'm going to go ahead and continue to dispel any foolish Dak Prescott narratives that are floating around out there that fans are using as a reason as to why the Cowboys need to move on from their franchise signal caller. Let's get right into it, as I'm about to go ahead and drop a bomb on you guys as it pertains to one of the main statistics people like to bring up as it pertains to Dak Prescott and trying to use said statistic to call him a mediocre or bad quarterback. Be sure to subscribe for more Dallas Cowboys and Dak Prescott content on the regular. Let's get right into this. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you can see here a bunch of wins, a bunch of losses, and a bunch of percentage numbers right here. And this list was actually posted by your guy Nix over on X. Shout out to you, your guy Nix. But if you take a look at this list, and I'm about to address some of the foolish comments that I'm seeing even on this list. If you take a look at this list is essentially showing quarterbacks' win percentages against teams with records over 500. Remember, that is one of the biggest indictments against Dak Prescott as it pertains to his haters and statistics that they like to use against him. Interesting how that statistic is flipped on its head whenever a little bit more context is added. That context being other quarterbacks' numbers versus winning teams. Just by taking a look at this list, you can see that Dak Prescott isn't necessarily the most winning quarterback against teams with winning records, which that was not the point I was going to be making with this particular video, but you can definitely see he's in the top percentile of quarterbacks as far as percentage of wins against teams with winning records. He's barely a couple of percentage points off from one Aaron Rodgers, which I have never heard anybody accuse Aaron Rodgers of not being able to beat teams that have over a 500 record. I've never heard anybody accusing Jared Goff or Matt Ryan of not being able to beat teams with winning records. Now, granted, I will always maintain wins and losses are not quarterback statistics. Wins and losses are team statistics. So even though I'm presenting this list to you guys, I am not using this list to say that Dak Prescott is solely responsible for the wins or losses that the Cowboys suffered in any of these competitions. This is simply a list to put it into context to show that Dak isn't as bad as a lot of you guys like to make him out to be as it pertains to his win-loss record against teams with records of 500 or better. Dak is 22-25 in those such games. Someone like a Matt Ryan was 33-63 in similar games. Tom Brady, obviously, he's the GOAT, 74-47. That man was cleaning up against winning teams, and he actually has one of the highest winning percentages in the history of the NFL against winning teams. Second behind it looks like Patrick Mahomes at .647 with a record of 22-12. Now, obviously, Tom Brady has a much larger sample size, so once Pat gets a few more years under his belt, there's a chance that that percentage is going to drop quite a bit. But just looking at these, Josh Allen is 17-17. Aaron Rodgers is 41-44. Hell, Kirk Cousins is 14-43. Lamar Jackson, 14-4. Again, guys, the point here is, who are these mythical quarterbacks that everyone feels like that Dak Prescott's supposed to be living up to, and he's supposed to be able to beat all of these playoff contending teams, all of these winning teams, and he's supposed to have this godly record against these types of teams where you can clearly see right here, the numbers don't lie. You can clearly see right here. That's not a normal thing, guys. It's very few quarterbacks that have as large of a sample size of games played as a Dak Prescott, meaning 45 games or more. It's very few quarterbacks, for one, that have played winning teams that many times in their career, and for two, have an impressive, godly win-loss record against those teams. Guys just don't beat winning teams that often. If you're lucky, and if your guy is as good as he's supposed to be, essentially that's giving you a fair shot at beating a winning team. That's giving you a 50-50 chance at winning that game. But there are no guarantees in sports. There are no mythical quarterbacks that are going to come out of college or come out of free agency or come off the practice squad that are going to come in and be better than Dak Prescott to the point to where it's going to make fans feel like we can beat winning teams all the damn time. That literally does not happen unless you have an anomalous QB like a Tom Brady or a Patrick Mahomes. And I'm sorry, there's only been two of those guys in the 60, 70, 80 years that the NFL has been around, however long it's been. There's only been two guys named Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes. Okay, so it's not often that you find guys playing nearly at the level that a Dak Prescott is playing at, and it's damn sure not often that you're going to find a guy that's playing at the level of a Tom Brady or a Patrick Mahomes. And at this point, that's what you're looking at. If you're looking for a better quarterback than Dak Prescott, the numbers show it, the results show it. Everything that you can look at, and we're going to continue to break down these walls and break down these fake narratives about Dak all summer long. Everything that you can look at shows you Dak Prescott is a top 5, top 6 quarterback, regardless of what order you want to put him in. And it's incredibly difficult to replace a guy that's playing his position that well, especially that position. So let's just stop the nonsense. The next time you hear a fan come to you and talk about, oh, win-loss record's 500, blah, 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 you point them to this graph. You point them to this video, because the whole how many games above 500 or his win-loss record against teams above 500, that to me is another one of those fake narratives, one of those fake statistics that talking heads and pundits make up when they have to reach for shallow arguments that really have no bearing on the reality of the situations, and they have to reach for these convoluted arguments that actually, once provided with more context, will prove the opposite point that they're trying to prove. It's another made-up statistic, the same way that Trevon Diggs' yards that he gave up against receivers was a made-up statistic that we haven't even heard of since Trevon was looked at as one of the top cornerbacks in the league, and people were trying to use that to hang over his head. It's another one of those made-up stats, like how often CeeDee Lamb is playing out of the slot and trying to use that as a detriment to him. It's another one of those made-up stats, like blow-bys, like they started counting against Luka Doncic in the NBA Finals. I don't know what it is, bro, but I do know one thing. It's damn show Dallas against everybody, and it's damn show facts over feelings over here. And a lot of you guys, y'all being y'all feelings, and I don't know if y'all realize just how pathetic some of y'all look when it comes to football and sports discourse, when you regurgitate these tired and played out narratives that honestly have no roots within truth. But either way, stop it. The win-loss stuff, we can let that go now. We see right now it's not normal for a guy to have even a 500 record against teams that have an over 500 record themselves. It's just not normal. And anybody that has a decent enough sample size, they actually have lost more games than they have won, unless your name is Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes. Even Aaron Rodgers lost more games than he won against those types of teams. So that should give you some proper perspective. We still the same old Cowboys. I'll see you guys on the next one.
Calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, am I still them boys? Y'all usually check on me. Listen. I'm still them boys. Hey! Woo! Oh, shut up, my boy. Hey! I'm still them boys.